Chuck D, Public Enemy.
How do you feel about touring in a country which was one of the main responsible nations for the Black Holocaust?
Well, what you try to do is you explain what you're about, and you hope that people understand the true story. Truth will set you free, right? And you just try to let the people know who are blind to the ways of how this operation worked, and you try to say, well, no, everything here is not good, but hopefully things could change.
It'll never happen again.
Yeah, make sure that it never happen again.
All right, let me see my questions here.
Very few people acknowledge that fact, too, that the Dutch put such a big economic part onto the slave trade, you know.
Yeah, Max is actually from Aruba. That's in the West Indies.
Yeah.
So he's been shipped over here as well.
Right.
You can say that. Okay, Max.
All right. Well, don't you feel terribly misunderstood by the majority of European fans? Many seem not to understand or even listen to your lyrics.
Oh, why? You did a survey with everybody? No, I think because of the interpretations from the radio and the press, I think a lot of people have understood what we were about. If it was just about the music, it would have came and disappeared. So I don't think that's true.
Well, I've talked to a lot of fans, and well, many just don't seem to listen to the music when I talk about like the things you say. They actually never notice what you're talking about.
Well, I think that you didn't talk to everybody, and for every 5 that don't know, there's usually 1 or 2 that do know.
In English hip-hop, the problems of the black community over there are generally viewed as a class issue rather than one of race. What's your opinion on that point of view?
That's true, but if it was a situation here, like in Europe or England, where it was a mass abundance of black people, the class system turns into keeping the ones most easily identifiable at the bottom. And that's what happens, especially in America. We're easily identifiable, and they judge us from our visual characteristics. So even though the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, that's the system that prevails over everything. Since we're being easily identified, we're easily singled out and thrown to the poor.
Over here, when I read the newspapers, the reviews on your latest album, they were like, well, 2 or 3 years ago, this would be revolution on hip-hop music, but now this is Public Enemy repeating itself. But then this is the backlash I hear almost every new album Public Enemy brings out.
Every time, right? Well, we try to make sure that our music is fast and energetic, and we try to transcend. If I did something like funk or slow or R&B, it would make my performance harder to do. It would be like I would be copying another trend, and believe me, I stick to my subjects. I know I can do best, and I change this a little bit as opposed to just drastically. But also, I would say that each album that we always do is totally different from one another, and I try to lean on those strengths. Of course, you always hear somebody always talking some shit, but what can they say? They've said it all. If they can't just say, "Oh, they're great, 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 they're great, 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 great." Some people feel that they have to make their job more exciting by saying, "Oh, this is just the end," and then I have to come do a good show, and they say, "Well, it's not the end, but next time it would be the end."
It's for me. So on the new album, there's a lyric against, or a song against, semi against gangster hip hop.
Yeah, because I just think that's a form of negativity in our environment that's being projected by the mainstream. And basically, I'm tired of seeing us killing each other for the rest of everybody else's entertainment value. It's a serious issue with us. So yes, we have the illusion of people in our communities trying to be gangsters, but I hate the trendiness of it, because you have young people out there dying for real. So I try to nip it in the bud.
But isn't
Well,
like isn't like smoking weed and using guns and being a gangster? Isn't it like the hip thing to do, the anarchistic thing to do?
Yeah, but you have smart things and you have stupid things. Well, what's the next thing? People are going to start licking cars. You know, cars are traveling the street. You put your face in the middle of the road. I licked this car. You know, you end up dead. So there's things that do that are smart and there's things that are stupid. And when you see some things that are dumb, you got to call it.
Okay, yet you're on tour with Ice-T and Tupac, which could be labeled gangster.
No, Ice-T is the original gangster. And the original gangster means, well, first of all, Ice, we've been rolling together for years. Ice is a scientist at it. Ice has always been trying to bring people up and out of it. He hasn't been trying to do it just so he can make money off of it. So, I mean, Ice is a scientist when it comes down to it. Tupac isn't on this tour. So, that's that. You know, but even if he was, understand we're all just rapping. And every story needs to be told. But when you see people just all telling the same story because it can make them $1 quicker than if they try to do something they really believe in, then that's when they have those problems.
Do you think that I've been to Harlem this summer? I must say I've never seen anything like it before. I've been to Africa. I must say the situation over there was even better. I saw you on MTV being like some war correspondent
in Brooklyn.
Yeah. Do you think it will ever get better?
And in the United States?
Yeah.
Well, it's better in some areas, but better meaning what? You know, only thing that can clear our situation up is that we got to know more about ourselves, and that's education. We have to be able to support our own environment, which is economically sound. And also we have to enforce our own laws in our own environment. So with those three areas, things can be better.
What do you think about the O.J. Simpson case? Maybe a stupid question, but
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate. Because of what?
Because it's unfortunate.
For O.J. Simpson, or what do you mean?
It's unfortunate for everybody.
And what do you think about the case Mike Tyson?
Unfortunate.
Also,
Yes.
isn't it like white law over black people?
Typical.
Right. Music in our message, you're dropping a lot of knowledge on various conspiracies against mankind. Where did you find all this info? Is there like a list of books for that PE fans should read?
Yes, it's a tremendous list of books. But I don't think the knowledge just all comes just out of me just doing the research. I think it's it's opinionated, but my opinions are based on fact. So, you can still say I'm crazy or I'm not crazy. So, whether it's knowledge or not, it means if it comes straight from a book. I've read something and then I've passed my opinion on it. So you could still have a chance to say you like it or you don't like it. But I just try to make sure that my opinions are based on fact.
I read in your lyrics in the song Race Against Time. In Tuskegee, blacks got shot with disease. What does it mean?
Tuskegee, there was a Tuskegee experiment with down south in Alabama. A whole town of black people that had syphilis were being monitored by the health organization because they said that they had treated the people for the syphilis, but they didn't treat the people, and therefore was watching everybody die from it or watching the results from it to monitor it and put in their books as this what happens after you have syphilis, and they just viewed the results. So
Like
yeah.
Mengele experiments. Wow, that truly happened.
Yeah.
You know about it because I was shocked. Wow.
But they did a lot more experiments. They experimented on like mostly everybody. One time they dropped a biological agent in the
river
Los Angeles subway system just to see how it would spread. And in the 50s, of course, you had the soldiers who were like exposed to
Agent Orange in Vietnam, and also you had back in the 1600s, also I'm talking about in the song, what they did with the Indians is that they traded them blankets, and the blankets was laced with smallpox. You know, little bio. So what I'm doing is in the song, like I said, it's my opinion. I'm questioning the fact of AIDS being a, you know, I mean, a man-made disease, biological and chemical warfare to exterminate people.
Humanity.
Yeah, and just get rid of a whole hunk of people, then find a cure. But then you got rid of a whole bunch of people for the rich to take over, the real power brokers of the world, who somehow never seem to catch AIDS, but do anything. Fucking
Monkeys.
animals, monkeys, and you know, I mean, they don't catch anything, right?
So there's a cure for AIDS, you think?
Of course, I think there's a cure.